it's Gary Brown. David Lydiard, the New Zealander, is in the centre, wearing 3, alongside Rob Hutchinson, the man who moved from Halifax as part of the Graham Hallas transfer. On the other wing in 5 is Mike Bibby. Wayne Parker is the standoff half, wearing 6. Look out for Gary Chatfield. If he plays well, Rovers will tick. He's the scrum half in 7. Up front, Chris Harrison is the prop forward, wearing 8. Richard Chamberlain is having a wonderful time of it at the moment. He's only 20. And Craig O'Brien completes the front row. He is in 10. Des Harrison, Chris Harrison's elder brother, is coming up shortly. He's in the second row. That's Paul Fletcher, wearing 11. Here's Des Harrison. He's in 12. And Paul Speckman is the loose forward in 13. And the coach, George Fairburn. Shane Cooper leading the St Helens team onto the field. A team that looked odds on to take out the championship this year. But Wigan are a team made of stern stuff. And St Helens, in a week, they saw their season disintegrate with defeat in the Challenge Cup and then 2 defeats in the league. That's Wayne Parker leading out Hulkingston Rovers in their change strip tonight. A very snazzy, brightly coloured strip it is too. Red, blue and green. The team that's propping up the rest at the bottom of the table. Substitutes tonight, Saints have Anthony Sullivan and Gus O'Donnell on the bench, and Hulkingston Rovers have Sean Ho and Andy Thompson. Phil Vevers playing tonight in the second row. It's the 5th position that he has played in for St Helens. He played in the 1985 Premiership final against Hulkingston Rovers. He's the only survivor in the Saints team from that day. And Richard Chamberlain, the hooker, all 4 of his tries have come in 1993, including one against Wigan on Tuesday. He's the Great Britain Academy hooker from last season, and he has broken into the big league this term. The match referee is Graham Annesley from Australia. He took charge of the French test in Carcassonne last Sunday, and he'll be in charge of the return at Headingley on April the 2nd. And make a note in your diary, that's a match you can see exclusively live here on Sky Sports. Great Britain against France from Headingley on April the 2nd.
Going to be very interesting to see the Australian Graham Annesley, the referee, what sort of interpretations that he will give these players tonight. There's Wayne Parker, the former Great Britain under-21. We're looking for a big game, but it will be very interesting, Eddie, to see what interpretation, of course, because in Australia they do not have the 10-yard mark in defence. No doubt a few words of wisdom has been put forward to Mr. Annesley before the kick-off.
Yes, I'm sure he's been acquainted of the new rule here in this country, and they do tend in Australia to give the players a good 5 metres anyway. So, live and exclusive then from Knowsley Road, it's St Helens against Hulkingston Rovers. It's going to be the Saints who get us underway. Tia Party gets this match in progress, and a mistake immediately. The ball goes sailing out on the full. It's a penalty, Rovers on the halfway mark.
Well, a bad mistake there by St Helens. A little bit too lackadaisical there by the Kiwi Tia Party. Not the start that their coach, Mike McLennan, would want. He's a bit bemused by it there. But what a great penalty to give to the Rovers. As I mentioned before the start of the game, Eddie, Hulkingston Rovers really have got to try to get points early on in the match.
So full-back Mike Fletcher deposits the penalty into touch. A real sloppy start by St Helens. Good tackling though by Phil Vevers. And that's Paul Fletcher, the second row forward. Chamberlain is the man in at dummy half. This now is Speckman, the loose forward, trying to go through a gap. The gap closed down by Cooper and Jonathan Griffiths. This now is Des Harrison. Good driving run, halted by Bernard Dwyer. Chatfield, the scrum half. Parker, good ball. Lydiard through the gap, and the support arrives. And it's desperate defence from St Helens right on their own try line. They just managed to keep Chamberlain out there. Little dab through, and it breaks. And Gary Connolly has it, but he's tackled behind his own line. This is a good start from Rovers.
Unbelievable there. That was a nice little kick through by the second row of Fletcher, but really St Helens were caught napping. Beautiful pass that sent the centre David Lydiard through in the first place. The St Helens defence, they just hung off. They expected that to be a forward pass.
So St Helens have had some real pressure exerted on them in the opening 2 minutes of this match. But that's a good drop out from underneath his own sticks. It means that Mike Fletcher has to go back to his own quarter mark and pick up. And then the chasers have arrived, Dwyer, Joint and Vevers. Chamberlain again at dummy half.
Interesting move by the Hulkingston Rovers coach George Fairburn. Just before the game, he switched David Lydiard to play opposite Gary Connolly. He's obviously aware of the strength of the...
I think to St Helens.
Well, good run by Chris Harrison trying to get the ball away.
David Lydiard, the Kiwi, the man who was switched. Steve Oster, the Australian rather. The man who was switched just before the start of this game. This now is Harrison. Tall prop forward for St Helens. The first chance really that St Helens have had to exert any pressure on this Hulkingston Rovers defence. Joint with the run. Good tackling by the standoff half. That's Parker. This is Connolly. Ball out to Alan Hunt, and it's a stroll in for Hunt. First try from St Helens. 3.5 minutes on the watch. Alan Hunt with the opening try. Big smile.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Good run by Gary Connolly. We were saying that he was important to this game, but I'm afraid that the youngster Gary Brown was sucked in there. He went for the intercept that really was never on. Good finishing by Alan Hunt. But look, you can see Connolly right away from the dummy half. He pulls the man in. You can see poor Gary Brown, the youngster. A little bit too much for him perhaps. He really was left in no man's land. A little bit of inexperience there, but a fine try, well read by the centre Gary Connolly to send that man in for the first try of the game.
Well, we said before the match that it's about time Alan Hunt got back into try scoring. He needs only 4 for 100 before tonight. Needs only 3 more now. And we have an early conversion attempt here from Paul Loughlin. An acute angle, and he's just pulled it. So it stays at St Helens 4, Hulkingston Rovers 0, but a great start for St Helens.
Well, you can see there that Connolly is running this direction. The ball's coming out, and there's poor Gary Brown has come in off the line, and I'm afraid that's enough to let this man in. The Great Britain winger, Alan Hunt. Nice try, but well thought out by Connolly in the centre.
Alan Hunt hadn't scored in his last 8 matches before that. And after a very shaky start, St Helens find themselves 4 points ahead. And on the charge again here with Rapati. Good job again that Wayne Parker was there to stop the momentum. Cooper now, and he finds Griffiths. On to Vevers. Swarming defence from Rovers. Just over 5 minutes gone. St Helens ahead 4-0. Dwyer to Cooper. Dwyer for the return. That's the last tackle. St Helens just outside the 20-metre mark. Griffiths dabs the ball ahead, and the referee wipes the tackle count back to 0. Here's Connolly. Rovers have got 6 more to face here. Bernard Dwyer. Jonathan Neal was the darting runner, the prop forward. Cooper the decoy run. This is John Harrison. Good run from the tall man. And I think he's over, is he? The referee's checking. He is. They had all the strength in the world then. did John Harrison, only his second try of the season. A try in this fixture last season, he's repeated it here tonight.
Stone's Better Championship replay, nice dummy run there. You could see the ball coming back inside from the hook of Dwyer, but the big prop forward, John Harrison. Now there must be 5 Hull KR players there. How on earth did he get that down? But good credit to the prop forward. He's still moving forward. Look at the legs pumping. The strength is there, and then they just let him go. Down he goes. Good positioning by the Australian referee, Graham Annesley. Really, this is a horrific start by Hull Kingston Rovers.
Lachlan then with his second conversion attempt in the opening 7 minutes, and he makes no mistake this time. And so St Helens have raced into an early lead here. St Helens 10, Hull Kingston Rovers 0.
Well, let's just roll it on, really. There's nothing to show off here otherwise than the fact they're the inside move. Look at the big prop forward coming in. There's 1, 2, then another one joins in, 4, and I'm afraid the 5th goes in and he squirms his way over.
Naivety, Mike, in defence is something that springs to mind. We've seen them really gift St Helens 2 tries, haven't we?
Well, 5 players there, and not one decided to go underneath the tall man like that and put himself between the try line and the ball in his body. Therefore, not allowing him to score the try.
Well, Saints look in no mood for charity, although they're a bit charitable there as the ball bounced off Lachlan.
Well, really, that pass wasn't on there. He tried to pressurise him too much. There was no way through. You see that Lachlan just at the last moment took his eyes off the ball.
Speckman then in possession. Now it's Harrison, the prop forward, Chris. Gets the ball away neatly. Here's Parker. Chamberlain, the dummy half. Speckman again is the runner. Chatfield. And the second row man is Des Harrison. 2 Harrisons in this Rovers side, 2 Fletchers as well. Chatfield. A high up and under. Lyon was impeded as he went for that. So the referee says play on with Chatfield in possession. Good arcing run from Chatfield. The ball dropped into no man's land though, collected by Rapati, and he then tried to send Mike Riley away. Harrison score of that try to Cooper. Long pass to Lachlan. Lachlan took it cleanly this time. It's a good job that Wayne Parker's out there. He's putting in some big work in the tackling department, the standoff half for Hull Kingston Rovers. Cooper and Vivers. Speckman to meet him. Bit of help too from Des Harrison. Now Jonathan Neal gets the ball away to Jonathan Griffiths. Griffiths is only his 3rd start of 1993. Kick was charged down. The referee, though, says that it was on the last tackle. Totally unintentional here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. David Lydiard made no attempt to go for that ball. Good decision by the referee, Annesley.
So Rovers trying to build then with David Lydiard, the man who played in 2 grand finals with Parramatta. This is Craig O'Brien.
Get away, man, get away.
David Lydiard so important to this Rovers team, as is Chatfield. Speckman in possession now. That's a good ball to Hutchinson. Hutchinson, he has some speed and he had the support there from his winger, but the fullback David Lyon doing a very good job indeed. Speckman now for Rovers. This is Parker, misses out Chatfield and finds the prop forward O'Brien. It's the last tackle for Rovers. Chatfield not caught in possession. The tall Chris Harrison. Desperate defence from St Helens. That ball was stolen. That's a penalty to Rovers.
Well, I'm not so sure that I agree with you there, Eddie. I think Mike Fletcher, well, it's 50-50. Although Mike Fletcher didn't make too much of an out of it, but perhaps it might sway your way.
Well, the referee gave the penalty, and so Rovers in possession again with Lydiard. It's a good ball to Paul Fletcher. Chamberlain once more, now the second rower Des Harrison. St Helens anxious to keep Rovers out here, give them no encouragement. Lydiard again, out to Hutchinson. Hutchinson coming back across the face of play to Chamberlain, he couldn't keep hold of it.
Well, another good run by the centre, Hutchinson. He had a good run just a couple of moments ago, but I'm afraid the ball just going in front. The hooker there, Chamberlain, just couldn't get to it. Well, that's three good chances that Hull KR have spilt.
Griffiths in possession for St Helens, and even Steven, isn't it? Even though St Helens are ahead by 10 points to 0. St Helens almost invincible here at home. Only Bradford Northern have beaten them at Knowsley Road 35-18 on November the 1st. They're one defeat in 10 matches so far. Dwyer hacks the ball downfield. Mike Fletcher collects. Good chasing by Dwyer, finished off by Cooper.
Good thinking by the St Helens hooker there. He could see that there was no sweeper. Punched the ball through. Very good St Helens in that department, running from the dummy half position.
Speckman the loose forward. No way through for him. Now the prop forward, Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison, 25. He's the younger brother of Des Harrison, playing in the second row tonight. That's neat little bit of thinking. That's great stuff. And Lyon had to be brave. He knocked it forward, but it was a lovely chip over the top by Wayne Parker.
Well, he's shown in the opening minutes that he's done his work in defence, but what a great attacking ploy that. We get back to the fact that you can read the game. He'd read that the St Helens had no sweeper also. That man there, David Lyon, he took the option to just get out of the way with a swinging boot, and it came off, knock on.
Chatfield in at dummy half now. There's the other Harrison, Des Harrison, the elder brother of prop forward Chris. Chamberlain the dummy half. This now is Paul Fletcher. Releases the ball well in the tackle. Chatfield continues the movement on. Takes the return from Speckman. Brings Lydiard into it. Chamberlain lost his way. Chatfield helped him out with the call. Hutchinson trying to force the pace. The ball has come through to Chamberlain, but the referee has brought the play back for the forward pass. Enterprising though from Rovers.
Rightly so there, the centre trying to keep the ball alive again. Full credit to the Hulkinson Rovers side. Down by those two tries from St Helens, they really were blitzed within the space of 2 minutes. Let's not forget that the Rovers have played two very hard games against Widnes in the Challenge Cup, and of course they had a hard game against Wigan only on Tuesday night. They know that stamina is going to play an important part in this game tonight.
The halfback, Gary Chatfield, was caught offside there as he tried to haul Jonathan Griffiths down. Chatfield, 25 years old. 15 minutes gone in this match. It's 15 minutes old and 10-0. St Helens are ahead. And in possession with Bernard Dwyer. Dwyer, a man who's been on the fringe of the international scene this season. Gary Connolly very much a part of the international scene. Young Player of the Year in 1992. Held the ball up well then.
Well, you saw Connolly there make the half break. He was looking for the second line. That second phase of attack just didn't come.
Tiarapati. Lovely chinking run from him, eventually halted. And the referee is standing them back a very narrow 10 yards. Griffiths with the ball over the top to Connolly. And Connolly trying to get the ball out wide to Mike Riley. Saints lose it though.
Nice play though by Jonathan Griffiths. Send the ball out wide. Connolly just trying to get round the man. Ball just going forward. But they are trying to keep this ball alive. St. Helens side. They feel as though they're in the mood for it.
Well, they need to be, there's no doubt about it. There the referee taking them back well. I thought he was standing them back a narrow 10 yards. He managed to keep them back 10 there and does so again.
Different styles also, well, Eddie, that we're finding that Graham Annesley's taken a lot of notice at the play of the ball. There's a lot of, shall we say, fisticuffs gone in Australia at that play of the ball, and a lot of you can see there quite clearly that the centres and wingers are moving up, creeping in that dish-like defence.
This is Paul Fletcher, second row forward for Rovers, almost forced out and into touch, but manages to keep the ball alive well. Last tackle for Hull Kingston Rovers as Speckman was brought down. This is Chatfield. Another one of those typical high kicks from him with the left boot. Lyon's coming for it. Lyon lost it. The ball bounced instead for O'Brien, the prop forward. Then it's hacked downfield. Rovers knowing there's no full-back there. That was a good full-back understudy in Alan Hunt. Played there, of course, in the full-back role earlier this season.
Great defence there by Alan Hunt. He realised that a kick up there, full-back, of course. David Lyon was up in the line. Caught offside, a little bit too enthusiastic, this Hull Kingston Rovers side. But good play there by Alan Hunt, as you mentioned, Eddie. He's played a lot this season at full-back. And in fact, in my opinion, at the early start of the season, when it was his position, I thought he was playing the best football of his career.
Well, he scored 22 tries now this season. Has Alan Hunt 3 away from the magical 100 mark for the club. And that's good defence from Rovers, pushing John Harrison back about, 4-5 metres in the tackle. St Helens giving the ball plenty of air. Bernard Dwyer. Now Beavers. Being hauled down by the shirt collar, Lydiard and company, doing the defensive job. Connolly to Griffiths. Cooper. Griffiths for the return. Through the gap, Griffiths. Looking there to offload to Tiarapati, who was steaming up in support, held on in the end. Cooper again. Dwyer, Jonathan Neal, back to Griffiths, to Connolly. Connolly all wrapped up by David Lydiard. Last tackle for St Helens. Beavers just dabs one over the top for Alan Hunt to chase, and a good job that the winger, Gary Brown, was there, and Gary Brown's on his way. What a good run.
Oh, excellent play there by the youngster. A little bit inexperienced in allowing that little bit of a gap that allowed Alan Hunt to get his 97th try for the St Helens club. But that really was excellent play by the youngster Gary Brown. Beautiful stepper. Normally plays at the standoff position.
Des Harrison hanging on for Rovers. This is Chatfield. Good run from Chatfield. Good support too from Paul Fletcher, who gets the ball away to Chamberlain, and Mike Riley dumps Chamberlain to the ground. Last tackle. Quick hands from Rovers, but they couldn't get the ball away there. The winger Mike Bibby caught in possession on the last tackle. That's the turnover. Midway through this first half then, St Helens ahead 10-0 in possession with Loughlin. Cooper now. This is Dwyer and Beavers. Dwyer takes the return. Gets the ball away neatly. Harrison over the top from him. This is Chris Joint. Great Britain international last week against France, Chris Joint. Alan Hunt, another member of the team in Carcassonne. Oh, Jonathan Neal makes a big blunder, surrenders possession, and Craig O'Brien has it back for Rovers.
Well, any thoughts that St Helens had after scoring those 2 quick tries that this was going to be an easy Sunday stroll, or should I say Friday night stroll? This whole KR side have really got back into it, and that was forward.
Yes, the pass from Richard Chamberlain was forward as Lydiard came up. Oh, there's no doubt.
Not even an Australian referee could give that one.
Or could not give that one.
Depends which side of the channel you're on.
Well, this scrum going down then, Saints head and feed, and Wayne Jackson of Hull Kingston Rovers not playing tonight, but he is talking now with Bill Arthur.
Wayne 10-0 down. That doesn't really reflect the spirit with which Rovers are playing.
No, I think the lads, we come here thinking we knew we could do it. We've had a good hard game during the week against Wigan, and there's not many teams can come and play another hard team, St Helens, 3 or 4 days after. But we've just got to keep going, and that 2 tries by Saints in the first few minutes doesn't do nobody any good. But I think if we're going to score on the board, the lads should settle down, and we're just having a go. You've got to just get stuck in, and these things happen in rugby league. As I say, a try should settle us down a bit, and hopefully we can get back into the game and see how things go from there.
So Rovers looking for a quick score here to get themselves back into the game, according to Wayne Jackson. I think that's right too. I think there's 1 or 2 of these players, Mike, will certainly settle down if they see the old scoreboard ticking in their favour.
Well, it's a full credit to the Hull Kingston Rovers side, as I was just mentioning, and especially with runs like that. They're playing with a lot of enthusiasm. I spoke to George Fairburn midweek, and he said that his side was playing excellent football, but just didn't have the luck. Well, they've shown certainly the spirit and the pride that's in the club.
This is a lovely kick ahead by Paul Speckman, the loose forward. One bounce and it finds touch. Paul Speckman, loose forward. 9th season at Rovers. His kick has taken the play into the St Helens quarter. Hopefully Graham Annesley wants the scrum to sort itself out before allowing Jonathan Griffiths to feed. Lachlan carries it forward for St Helens. Just 2 wins in 35 post-war visits to Knowsley Road for Rovers. Their last win was in 1985 in the Challenge Cup. Their only league win since the war was 28-16 here in 1982, and a certain George Fairburn kicked 5 goals that day. George Fairburn, of course, now the coach of Hull Kingston Rovers. And despite all the problems that he's had this season, no money, he's not been doing such a bad old job, has he, Mike?
No, he's done very well. He's brought some of the youngsters which are out there on display tonight. But I just got the impression that perhaps a few of these St Helens players thought that this Rovers side may throw the towel in. Well, I can tell you, they won't do that. They're going to have to earn every try that's open.
David Lyon just putting a bit too much beef behind the kick downfield. It runs dead. It's a tap on the Rovers 20-metre mark, and there is George Fairburn, the Hull Kingston Rovers coach, watching from the dugout here at Knowsley Road. Oh, that's a mistake though, but the referee gives a penalty for offside against St Helens, moving up at the play the ball despite the fact that they reefed it back as the ball hit the deck.
Well, the crowd thought that they were being penalised for actually striking at the ball, but there you can see quite clearly Annesley had at least 5 St Helens players to choose from.
Certainly the decision won't endear Australians to the Knowsley Road public, Michael.
I'm sure that Mr Annesley is quite used to that sort of thing. They love their referees, the merry whistleblowers here at Knowsley Road, don't they? Well, the fans do anyway.
10-0, Saints ahead. Rovers, though, not capitulating. Chamberlain, the dummy half. Chatfield now. And Des Harrison. Good strong run from the second rower. Oh, he's dropped the ball, but was it stolen? It was. It's a penalty.
They can see Jonathan Griffiths going in there. Once again, it looks a little bit 50-50, but at least Jonathan Griffiths' arm is there, isn't it? He said he hadn't moved the arm in a downward motion. Either way, the penalty is given. This should be a gift 2 points for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Yes, bang in front, and it's Mike Fletcher, who came back against Wigan after 3 matches out. And Fletcher manages to slot the penalty over, shouts to his players to come on. The scoreboard is ticking over for them now. They've finally got off the mark. Saints 10, Rovers 2.
St Helens, of course, got off to that flying start, but I'm sure their coach Mike McLennan won't be too impressed with the way that they are allowing those gaps. So one thing that the Hulkinson Rovers forwards are doing is making those breaks in the middle. And I'm sure that the message will soon be out to the Saints pack to tighten up that defence.
And the referee spotting the knock-on, as did the ironic cheers from the crowd tell you that they had as well.
Well, that was an interesting one there, because if Gary Chatfield would have taken that with the leg out. Still the pressure applies.
Drop out from underneath their own sticks then, up to halfway, and David Lyon.
You can see he probably didn't realise that he managed leg out there. He could have let that ball either go, wouldn't have touched the in-goal area. It's pretty hard to make a decision like that. You can't hold a board meeting.
Yes, if he'd have let it go though, St Helens would have planted their second kick-off out on the full, wouldn't they? As it is, instead of facing a penalty, they're now on the charge with Connolly and Rapati. Still going Rapati until he was met by Des Harrison. Bernard Dwyer to John Harrison. Hunt, the referee says it went backwards, giving Alan Hunt the benefit of the doubt. Griffiths, little chip over the top. Oh, and the ball bounced kindly for Riley. Good job, Mike Bibby was there with the tackle. That was the last one. Oh, lovely pick-up by Cooper. Get the ball out to Lyon, but it was a forward pass. And it's on the last tackle, so it's the turnover again.
Well, a little bit scrappy, I'm afraid, from St Helens. They've gone to sleep somewhat. I'm sure that they should do better by getting their forwards, trying to calm things down a bit. You'd think they were about 40 points in front. Here you see the replay of trying to squeeze that ball out. Just wasn't on. Of course, it's worth the try on the last, but I'm afraid it really is not championship stuff by the Saints side. They should be electing for different options, using the bomb. Been a lot more positive than just trying to squeeze the pass out at the last moment.
And I know that we're attracting new viewers to Rugby League all the time here on Sky Sports, and that turnover rule, just quickly through it once again for you. You have 6 tackles, then you get the 5th there, as you can see. This is the last tackle. If Rovers don't kick for touch here or put up the bomb, as they haven't, they've been caught in possession. It's now the turnover. The turnover automatically, possession swaps to the other side, this time St Helens. And Loughlin with the run. Really does speed up the proceedings, doesn't it, in Rugby League, when possession is automatically turned over. And there's Mike McLennan, coach of St Helens, and he doesn't look a happy man at the moment.
Well, he's a pretty hard man to please, but I'm not surprised really, because the forwards aren't getting to do the work.
This is Chris Joint now.
That's better running, and that's what we want to expect from them.
Halted by Hutchinson, but Saints still in possession with Vivers. Strong run from Vivers. Now Bernard Dwyer. He gets the ball away to Rapati. Rapati, there are 2 men out wide. One of them was Connolly, who cut back in field. And good tackling again by Mike Bibby, the winger. Only 21. 10 minutes to half-time. St Helens ahead by just the 8 points. Cooper, good ball to Joint. He has Lyon in support, but the pass was delayed far too long. Good tackling by Alan Hunt, and the winger has sprung a shoulder, I think. St Helens have the ball back as a result of that challenge by Hunt. But winger Gary Brown, watch the pain.
Oh, that was a shame really from the youngster there. Didn't realise that Hunt was coming at him like an express train. And the impact there, followed by the crunch on the ground. Let's hope that the youngster's okay. And it was nice to see there that Alan Hunt quickly went to see if he was okay, even though the game was still in process.
This is David Lyon, and that's the third St Helens try. David Lyon the man who was in the Great Britain squad against France last weekend but did not play, and a try now in 7 of the last 12 games.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Nice little switch of play by Bernard Dwyer. This man is so strong. Tia Rapati, you could see they couldn't stop him. Griffiths involves himself again. I'm afraid Hull Kingston Rovers went too high. You could see 3 defenders coming across. But when you start running the angles like this, it creates problems in defence. Look at this man, the strength of him, the Kiwi back inside. They just can't hold him down. Second phase of attack was there. Not the best attempt at tackle, as you could see. Good support play by the fullback. Nice try from David Lyon.
David Lyon, just checking the statistics, it's his 8th try in 12 games. Lachlan, his 2nd successful conversion of the evening. St Helens 16, Hull Kingston Rovers 2, and the winger, Gary Brown, having his shoulder put back in while that was going on.
Well, we talk about the angles. They run this side and then switch. They're running that way. It really does confuse the defence. Excellent play there. You can see that the one line of defence that should be solid wasn't. It was like the dog's back leg. And this man is so strong. So is this man, especially when you go high. You could have driven 2 double-decker buses through there, but good support play by the full-back line.
Gary Brown, fit enough to carry on from the Rovers Academy team, the young winger. Crunch tackle on him by Alan Hunt. But number 2, just running through the bottom of the picture then, he's okay, he carries on.
Full credit to him there. And it had to be a good tackle because the lad has got plenty of speed. He was away.
Des Harrison turns, spins in the tackle, finds Chatfield. Chatfield's a real live wire. High error count, 13 of them in the opening, 33 minutes here. Chamberlain. Perhaps he would have done better if he'd have continued his run then and gone straight for the whitewash. As it is, Rovers in possession now with Speckman. Lydiard joining the line. Speckman is in at dummy half. Rob Hutchinson now gets the ball away in the tackle, finds Des Harrison. Harrison continues the movement to Paul Fletcher. Wayne Parker, he'll angle a little kick looking for Lydiard. He's found him too, but Lyon was there. But the referee says that Lydiard was offside. Now that was inventive play.
Yeah, just sneaked over the advantage line. As you mentioned, you'll see Lydiard running through just out of your screen. It was touch and go though, but you could see just by the shadow there. The referee Annesley was in excellent position to see that.
But you can see what George Furburnt's talking about, can't you? I mean, they are not a side really that you would associate with the bottom of the table. All right, they're 16 points to 2 adrift, but they do play with some invention, don't they? And they do have 1 or 2 little attacking moves that on another day could come up.
Well, they're breaking down this St Helens defence, and as I say, it could be a bit of a worry for Mike McLennan. It's only the fact that the Hull Kingston Rovers side do not have the speed, and the second line of attack, that second phase in attack is so important. It just isn't there. Add another couple of star players, and I think that Hull Kingston Rovers could be a very solid side indeed next year.
Well, we shall see them again next season in the big league, come what may. They will stay up. And the top 2 in the second division, as we saw that kick forward from Jonathan Griffiths running dead, the top 2 in the second division will also join the 14 in the big league, making a first division of 16. Featherstone Rovers and Oldham. Featherstone already promoted. Oldham odds on to come up with them. And Rovers, along with all the rest, will be aspiring to knock Wigan and St Helens off their perch at the top. Nothing to choose between these two sides in terms of possession, but Saints ahead 16 points to 2 on the scoreboard where it matters. Chamberlain to O'Brien. O'Brien to Lydiard. Good tackle by Connolly. 2 Chamberlain again. Now, did he play that properly? Well, referee Annesley said he did.
It was a bit awkward there because Gary Connolly seemed to have him in a sort of a half headlock.
Mike Bibby in possession. Speckman will hoist the kick. A midfield bomb. Lyon comes looking for it, thinks better of it, and then gets it. Second attempt. Let's take a look at that play, the ball again.
Well, you could see that he had him halfway locked down there in an arm lock. Pretty awkward to get up when someone's holding you down like that. A good refereeing, Graham Annesley, not giving the penalty, just allowing the advantage. The crowd come here to see open football. Let's hope we continue to get it. And I just noticed there in that tackle there, Gary Brown is in a lot of pain. The youngster is struggling, he's holding his right arm up. The shoulder must be really giving him some dip.
Cooper to Rapati. Steps through the challenges so well, Rapati. Good quick hands from St Helens. This is Cooper. Mesmerising run from the captain. He mesmerised everyone, including his own teammates and himself in the end. Here's Harrison, prop forward Chris. And let's get some news of Gary Brown, the winger, who is obviously struggling with that shoulder. Bill Arthur's been talking to the Rovers bench.
Well, it looks as though Gary Brown is going to come off. He had a bit of treatment on that shoulder, and yes, he's coming off now. It's his right shoulder. He took a knock in that tackle from Alan Hunt just a few moments ago, thumping to the ground, and he's had some treatment, but obviously can't carry on, even with half-time a couple of minutes away. So Sean Ho has come on, and Gary Brown has come off for Rovers.
So Sean Ho on the substitute on Tuesday as well, and that was his first appearance since November. David Lydiard herring after that, but Alan Hunt fooled him completely. Lovely sidestep then, but good tackling back by Ho. Lyon to Cooper. That's a good ball to Riley, and that's a good bit of tackling too from Paul Fletcher.
Not a bad introduction for a substitute in Sean Ho. Within the space of 5 days, they play Wigan and St Helens. Pretty tough at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, they were saying at New Craven Park that it's bad enough playing them twice a season, never mind twice in 4 days. Loughlin, the dummy half. Griffiths, Vivers. Rapati. Again he steps through. Releases the ball to Vivers, who continued the run. Over the top to Connolly. Brings Riley back in field, and Chamberlain and also the winger Bibby finish him off. Last tackle. Rapati to Cooper. Alan Hunt screaming for a long ball out wide here. Cooper with a drop goal attempt. He made a complete hash of it.
Well, the crowd are booing. Just lost the plot there. You could see that David Lyon was coming on the inside. He'd overrun it. Cooper kept on to it too late. Was left with an option. That had cheered if it wouldn't have gone over. Cruel game sometimes, rugby league.
Chamberlain releases the ball to Chris Harrison. The winger, Mike Bibby, has it. That's good play from him too. Chatfield now. And Speckman. Sean Ho. There's the half-time siren. And St Helens, well, a bit of a curate's egg of a first half, really good in parts. 16 points to 2 they lead, scoring a few spectacular tries, but I don't think Mike McLennan will be too happy, and Alan Hunt the man who set them on the way with the first one. 16-2, Saints half-time. His corresponding fixture, 38-15 last season, so well on course for another victory against Hull Kingston Rovers here tonight. The match statistics from the first half and the tackling, well, shared equally between the two sides. Scrums going Saints' way 4-2. Penalties and handling errors level, and nothing much to choose, to be fair, in the possession, though Hulkingston Rovers, you notice, had slightly better of things in that first half. That's in terms of possession. On the scoreboard, it's 16-2 in St Helens' favour. David Lyon, who scored the third St Helens try in that first half. A man who really has settled in well here at Knowsley Road. 8 tries in his last 12 games now, including 1 up at New Craven Park in January and 1 here tonight against Hulkingston Rovers. And Richard Chamberlain, the Hulkingston Rovers hooker, a Great Britain Academy hooker from last season, and he's playing well enough to keep Lee Richardson out of the Rovers team.
Yes, Eddie, plenty of talent, young talent, going around in the academy leagues, of course, in rugby league. There's a man with a lot of talent also.
Yes, Mike, talking about the academy, don't forget you can catch up with the Rugby League Academy here on Sky Sports. Sunday morning, set your alarm clock 7 a.m. for the academy this week. But here we're in the second half now of Hulkingston Rovers' visit to Knowsley Road. Rovers trailing as we come into this second 40. And we've been saying what Mike McLennan will have been talking about in the dressing room. Mike, what will George Fairbairn have been saying to his team, Hulkingston Rovers, at the bottom of the table and on the wrong end of the scoreline?
Well, obviously he's just continued doing it. They've been making those half breaks, but really they just haven't had that extra support and the speed that's needed. They'll just keep going the way they can, but a couple of times their defence has gone off the boil. But he realises that he's got quite a few youngsters out there. He's got to look towards the future.
Yes, I suppose the one thing you can say about this decision that the game has taken to revert to 2 divisions is that the Lees, the Hulkingston Rovers, the Salfords, who are down there struggling at the wrong end of the table, they can now experiment. They can flood the youngsters towards the back end of the season to give them the experience.
Yes, well, just an injury there to the second row. There's Harrison. Just fell awkward there. You can see how he's... Oh, yes, the leg there spinning. That's how the knees get injured very badly. As I said, it's good to see that it gives them the opportunity, as long as they don't push them too quickly.
It's Lydiard who's hacking the ball ahead, and Lyon had to be quick and diving at his feet, and as he picked himself up, Paul Fletcher came steaming in over the top and brought him down. Well, Bill Arthur, our touchline reporter, our sleuth in the dressing room, has got news from those dressing rooms at half-time. Bill?
We're only a minute into this second half and already Hull KR have got problems. Mike Fletcher, you might have noticed, is not moving at all comfortably. He's got a dead leg and they're going to take Mike Fletcher off and Andy Thompson will be coming on. They've got another problem because Des Harrison, it seems, has got a knock over there on the far side. So the problems really are mounting for Hull KR. And to add to that, Gary Brown, who came off in the first half, won't be able to come back on in the second because he's got a bad shoulder injury. So really problems for Hull KR. And the word from St Helens dressing room, Mike McLennan not at all happy with the way things went in the first half. Be more direct was the message, basically. I think he didn't put it quite so diplomatically, though.
Well, there you can see on the replay that Jonathan Griffiths using the second row, Chris Joint. There's a dummy there. The penalty going to Hulkingston Rovers.
And it gives them the opportunity to make the change. Andy Thompson comes on and Mike Fletcher hobbles off. So it looks a little bit now like Rovers will have to play out time with the 13 men they currently have on the field, because Fletcher has a leg injury, obviously. The young winger has problems with a shoulder, and remember when we saw Hulkingston Rovers against Halifax last season, injuries caused them all sorts of problems that night, and well, they were on the wrong end of a drubbing and they ended with about 9 or 10 men, didn't they? It was 76-8 against Halifax. I don't think it'll be 76-8 here tonight. That's lovely pick-up by Speckman. Parker drills the ball downfield. and finds touch. David Lyon powerless to do anything about that.
Nice kick by Parker there, into the space, picked his spot nicely. David Lyon, of course, quite happy to let it go. Means that St Helens, even though they're on their own quarter, they have the advantage of the put-in, and of course the head nearest to the feed.
The party has it for St Helens. Brought down by Fletcher and Lydiard. Not happy as he was getting to his feet, appealing to the referee. Honestly, though, saying play on. Good tackling by the winger Mike Bibby on his opposite number Mike Riley. That's careless play from Griffiths. Luckily for him, the ball bounced kindly and Riley's able to keep hold of it, and then he's almost had the head ripped off him by Paul Speckman, it seemed to me.
Well, you can see that St Helens are badly missing the charging runs of Kevin Ward. Always a feature of the St Helens plays to see the veteran Ward charging through. He does lead the way, and I'm afraid that they seem to be losing their way in the forwards so far.
And yet I mentioned as we ran through the team lineups at the start of tonight's programme, this is the front row, Mike, that destroyed Wigan over Christmas.
Yes, well, I suppose they can play well, but I'm afraid St Helens can't just look back on glory. They've got to, oh, that's a bad mistake by the young hooker. Doesn't have to be told, trying to get away from it. The left foot just getting in the way. Getting back to that, Eddie, St Helens side, they've got to look to the future. They can't look back on past glories that counts for nothing.
Just checking round the team, David Lydiard, the Aussie, has gone to full back. He's got to be quick here to stop Griffiths. He won't stop Rapati. Tia Rapati underneath the sticks for St Helens.
Stone's bit of championship replay. You see that Griffiths coming right the way through. Cooper that peeled off. It was beautiful play there by Griffiths. He did the right thing, pulled across. David Lydiard on the inside, and the New Zealander Rapati in for the try. Good play.
Tia Rapati, 19th of the season. A try now in each of his last 4 appearances. Loughlin, 2 out of 3. From bang in front, it should be 3 out of 4. And is straight between the woodwork. St Helens take a real grip on this match now, and a grip on the 2 points.
This was a planned move by St Helens. Cooper peeling off at the scrum. You'll see the double run around. Beautiful play, comes into action. That creates all the problems. Look at that. You can see there that the Hull Kingston Rovers were sucked in. The blindside move. This man has the speed. Jonathan Griffiths right through. Excellent play.
All the 2s then, 22-2, and 7 minutes of this second half gone. And a young man who is waiting to be given his chance by Mike McLennan. Anthony Sullivan, the St Helens substitute, talking now with Bill Arthur.
Anthony Sullivan, 22-2, a satisfactory scoreline for Saints.
Yeah, we've been making a few mistakes early in the first half with regards to ball control, but we're really sort of trying to put that right now, and hopefully we'll put some more points on the board.
But I think the message from Mike McLennan at half-time was that he wasn't totally satisfied with the way things had gone.
No, as I said, we've dropped off a couple of tackles, lost the ball unnecessarily, and like I say, he said to put that right and the points will come, so that's what the lads are doing now.
You looking forward to getting on the pitch?
Yeah, I am, definitely.
Anthony Sullivan, whose father, Clive Sullivan, will be honoured on Humberside tomorrow night as a member of the Hull FC Hall of Fame, which they will be opening. And of course, Clive Sullivan, he graced both clubs on Humberside, including Hull Kingston Rovers, who he led at Wembley in 1980. And Anthony Sullivan followed in father's footsteps and played for Hull Kingston Rovers before his move over here to Knowsley Road, just coming back after injury. He's missed 11 matches. Substitute against Castleford in the last match, and on that bench waiting his chance. This though is Andy Thompson. And they're moving the ball around neatly. Chamberlain to Chatfield, to Parker on the burst, and almost round Lyon, but he manages to get the ball away. Sean Ho, this is going to be a great Rovers try. Mike Bibby. Super stuff from the team at the bottom of the table. That belied their position.
Stone's bit of championship replay will show the speed and the pace and the wonderful skills that Hulkingston Rovers can produce. This is the type of football that really run Widnes riot. Nearly got them through to the semi-final, and of course really took it to Wigan on Tuesday night. They do keep it alive. Nice ball, Chatfield onto Parker, who started the movement. Nice step back inside, looking for the support play, and it was there. The loose forward, Paul Speckman. Out to the centre, Sean Ho, the substitute. And that man, beautiful play by Mike Bibby, adds it to it.
And Chatfield with a magnificent kick off the touchline to turn the 4 points into 6. Saints 22, Hulkingston Rovers 8. And Mike Bibby, the local junior signing, he's now scored tries in each of his last 3 matches against Widnes in the Cup replay, against Wigan and against St Helens here tonight. Tries from Bibby against 3 of the best.
That really was a wonderful team try. Good support play. We mentioned in that first half that they were breaking down that St Helens defence and they were not getting that second phase of attack. Well, on that occasion, they did to perfection. You can't see much better than that.
Well, that will give them great heart and great spirit. And it just shows what George Fairbairn's been saying. There's Mike Bibby, the man who scored now against Widnes, Wigan and Saints. Just shows what he's been saying. It's absolutely right. They can play the football, this team of youngsters.
We've only got to ask the Widnes side, and Wigan, of course, really did take in the task. A lot of people on Craven Park, of course, on Tuesday night thought that the Rovers were very unlucky not to take the 2 points against Wigan.
You mentioned that clubs can't rest on past glories, but it's worth recording that Hull KR were champions, and look at that push! What a great drive downfield, but the referee, Graham Annesley, has given St Helens a penalty. Now what was that for? Did he shout held? Surely he never was.
Well, how can he shout held there? The man is moving. It's as simple as that. Excellent play there, and not surprisingly, someone has said a few words to the referee. Australians don't like back chats anyway, especially ones that have got a whistle in their hand.
Well, the referee then, I think we could all agree, he said, I shouted held 4 times. How he could shout held with the way that they were forcing the St Helens player back is beyond me. Maybe the rule book states something different to that, but that's the interpretation that we've got on it anyway. Now, just going back to that potted biography of Hulkingston Rovers, champions 79, 84 and 85. St Helens champions in 1975, and that year Rovers were promoted with champions Huddersfield from Division 2. Now Griffiths, and this is Chris Joint.
Well, he's certainly strived hard as a second rower, Chris Joint. Plenty of talent, certainly a start of the future. Made his debut, of course, at Carcassonne last weekend.
The party to Lyon, over to that far side to Alan Hunt. He skips away from the tacklers, but treads in touch.
Not much room to move there, but good cover tackling there by Paul Fletcher. Just couldn't get away, and of course that was on the last. So it's the handover.
Chatfield. That's the prop forward, Craig O'Brien. This is Richard Chamberlain. And here's Andy Thompson, substitute in this second half. Parker. Well picked up in the end by Speckman. Continues the movement with O'Brien.
Good defence by St Helens. They're moving up a lot quicker now. They realise that after that try, another quick try by the Rovers, that really could set the alarm bells ringing in the St Helens camp.
Lovely kick downfield, meanwhile, from Paul Speckman, the loose forward.
He's a good reader of the game, is that youngster. Well, not a youngster, should I say, Paul Speckman, been around for quite some time.
At 26, he'll be a youngster at your age, Mike.
Eddie, even you're a youngster at my age.
Gus O'Donnell is warming up for St Helens, about to be introduced to the action, and it's Phil Beavers who is coming on. And Jonathan Griffiths lucky to get away with that. Connolly gives it to Lyon, he gives it to Mike Riley. That's a great tackle on Riley by Wayne Parker.
He really has got through some defence, hasn't he? Wayne Parker there, got involved a little bit there.
An indecision in the St Helens ranks. Great tackle though by the standoff half. It's not a vintage display this though, is it, from St Helens, Mike?
Well, once again, I can't understand why they're trying to keep this ball alive. I know they want to play entertaining football, but look, we've got Gary Connolly down the middle doing the work that the forwards should be doing.
Here's the forward now, Harrison. He gives it to Lyon. Quarter of an hour gone, 22 points to 8. Dwyer.
Does remind me, Eddie, so much of a side that know that the game is probably won. They're pretty confident of getting these 2 points. Everybody wants to show what they can do, but no one's prepared to do any hard work.
Lydiard now playing at full-back because Mike Fletcher is there. The ball has come out, and the referee says Connolly was holding Lydiard down. It looked to me there as though Lydiard had dropped it, actually.
Well, there's a little bit of a shift there. Just enough, in my opinion.
I think Lydiard had given it up as well. It looked to me as though he'd just thrown the ball away.
It's worth a try with an Aussie referee. Anything is, isn't it?
O'Donnell comes on then. Beavers goes off to applause from the crowd and offering it back to the St Helens supporters. O'Donnell straight into the tackling on the prop forward Chris Harrison. Chatfield to the other. Harrison, the second rower, Des. Parker to Lydiard. All wrapped up by Connolly. David Lydiard, formerly with Parramatta and Manly in Australia. Andy Thompson just disentangles himself from Tia Rapati. Des Harrison is spelled by Rapati and Cooper again. Last tackle. Chatfield, he'll hoist the kick. Oh, it's slicer though. Connolly's underneath it, takes it. And Sean Ho was there to bring Connolly down, and Chatfield coming in a bit late.
Very confident though, wasn't he, Gary Connolly? There was never any doubt that he was going to take that ball.
Still nothing to choose in terms of possession. Of course, it's worth recalling from a St Helens point of view, there's no Ward, Nicol, Mann or Ricky Cowan out there, but there is Connolly, and Connolly for the corner, over the top. And fortunately for Rovers, well, the ball's come back to Lyon, they can play on, and Hunt touches down. Try St Helens. It looked like great defence from Rovers. Instead, the ball came back inside after going loose, and Hunt did the rest.
Stones bit of championship replay. For once, we see the forward in the second half really come charging onto the ball. Chris Joint, he really has worked hard. Slips a nice ball away to Connolly. He just stepped away, realised he couldn't make it. Threw the ball at will. It did come off a Rovers player. Lyon was not touched. There you can see Annesley waving on. Not the best attempt there. And Alan Hunt in for number 98 for the St Helens club. He'll be happy. 2 more for the ton. And plenty of time to back them.
So Paul Loughlin with another conversion attempt. Just the one miss tonight. And that's the angle he has for this latest one. Starts a testimonial at the beginning of next season. Oh, it's a great kick. Flags go up. Another 2 for Loughlin. Another 2 for St Helens. They lead 28-8.
Good play by Griffiths, moving across that line. Inside comes Joint, off he goes on the run. Excellent play. There he goes. Coming at full speed, the gap opens. Tries to accelerate. Nice pass there, good support play by Conley. You can see he stops and starts. Can't get through, gets the ball back inside. Well played.
Well, Chatfield fooled everybody then. Went to kick off and then stopped midway through the run, and oh, and then he hits a St Helens player smack in the face. It's Loughlin. Well, that'll do those boyish good looks no good at all. Loughlin took that one full in the kisser. Watch this.
Oh, this is a real Mike Tyson kickoff. One wallop and he's down. Oh, that really hurts. But he's pretty tough. There you can see.
He's took one straight smack on the nose. And this is a good run from the second rower. And he's over is Des Harrison. 2 tries in quick succession, one at either end of the field.
Well, you talk about the Stones Bidder Championship replay giving you the knockout punch. That happened with the kickoff on Loughlin. And then this man, Des Harrison, remember only a few moments ago, just before half-time, this man was down injured with a bad knee injury. But look at that, just stepped straight through tear-reparted tackle. But that's how to run onto a ball. Good try, well deserved.
Harrison's third of the season. Chatfield just clips it nonchalantly over the top with that left foot. It's 28-14.
This is what we call about running into the gap. That's what a forward should be doing. And if you don't make the impact with the tackle, this is what happens. Well played.
28-14. And Loughlin, who took the bang in the face, is coming off, and Bill Arthur's got all the details as Saints make a double substitution.
Double substitution for Saints. We've got Jonathan Neal and Paul Loughlin coming off, and going on Phil Vevers and Anthony Sullivan getting another taste of the action, gradually working his way back into first team football. Loughlin off presumably because that kick-off banged him straight on the end of the nose, and he's got a bloody nose, I think. So that's a double substitution for Saints.
Okay, that's enough. Let's go now. Let's go.
Yes, there's Paul Loughlin. Just took his eye off the ball and wallop. The ball comes out. The referee says illegally, and it's penalty to Hulkingston Rovers.
Well, Vevers just come back on. Interfering there at the play of the ball. Chris Harrison appealing to the referee. The appeal is given. And this really would put the cat amongst the pigeons if the Rovers could post a try within the next few moments.
Here's the try scorer, Harrison. They're not ready to concede this yet. 14 points adrift, 28-14. Remember that computer prediction and Steve-O's prediction before the start of the match? Getting mighty close to Steve-O's score of 28-16. The computer was a little less kind to Rovers. They said 38-10. So the computer's way off.
Still a long way to go, Eddie.
I'm trying to give you credit for something. This is Lydiard. Now Chatfield. And dink over the top, well read by Jonathan Griffiths. Paul Fletcher, Chatfield finish him off. O'Donnell, the dummy half.
There's a timing point. Gus O'Donnell goes into the dummy half, looks round, expecting a forward to run on. What does he find? Nothing.
That's good quick hands. Sullivan to Hunt. Hunt slips. Hunt on a hat-trick. Remember, starting this match needing 4 for 100. Plenty of time still to go. 16 minutes. Long time in the rugby league match. Griffiths to Rapati through the gap. Support here from Connolly. Connolly being forced wide again. Riley. Still Riley and just all down. 1 metre short.
Great tackle by David Lydiard there.
Beavers just waited for that one and fires out a long pass to Cooper. He finds Alan Hunt. Hunt is after the hat-trick. It's the last tackle. They're 8 metres short, St Helens. And in possession with Joint. Chris Joint, can he get it down? No, he can't. It's the turnover. 6 tackles gone. And possession automatically turns over to the opposition. And the referee wants them to get on with it.
Good defence there by the Rovers. On that occasion, they did make sure that someone went underneath him. You can see them going there. It was the second rower, Paul Fletcher, gets right underneath there. No chance for Joint to get that ball down.
Quarter of an hour left to play. St Helens 28, Rovers 14. Rovers in possession with Chatfield. Good tackling on Speckman by Bernard Dwyer and Phil Beavers. Here's Andy Thompson.
Well, there is 1 point, Eddie, in regards to the St Helens pack. Oh, good break.
Good break from the winger, Mike Bibby. Halted eventually by Mike Riley. Chamberlain's the dummy half. Chatfield. Now will he hoist the kick? No, they'll run it with Parker. Now the kick. One for Lydiard to chase, but Lyon is there. Lyon just steps, high stepping out of the tackles, but can't get away from those three.
Just getting back to that St Helens pack, we're saying that they really haven't forwards got it together, gelled, but I suppose when you look about it, Phil Beavers and Shane Cooper in the back three, they're not really heavyweights, and of course they really can't share the load. And it really has shown that they've missed a good forward.
Harrison's pass was bounced on the ground, fooled his own players, but didn't fool Mike Bibby. So Rovers in possession now with Chatfield. And the ball's come free. Went backwards though. Referee just counts it as a normal tackle. No whistle. Chamberlain. Sean Howe. This is O'Brien. That's how close the Rovers are, about 7-8 metres, no more. In possession with Chatfield. Parker. That's a good call from Speckman. He gets the ball back to Sean Howe. And that's the 5th tackle.
Good defence though by St Helens then. You could see the centres move up quickly, forcing the Rovers down the middle.
Chatfield. Still going Chatfield, but he met the immovable object then. That was David Lyon, the Saints fullback.
Chatfield trying to keep that ball alive, but Harrison equal to the task, dropping on that loose ball. But that really was good defence by St Helens. They've got it sorted out there. Centres coming up quickly, not allowing Wilkinson Rovers much room to play with.
Connolly trying to fend them off. O'Brien would not be put off the task of the tackle. Griffiths to Harrison. Ball back inside to Griffiths. Now Griffiths with a typical scampering run. O'Donnell hangs on, sees a gap, then feeds Connolly again out wide. He gets the ball in field to Cooper. And David Lydiard again to Rovers' rescue.
Lovely play there by St Helens. Connolly keeping that ball alive, and that's forward.
Risky business that was from Beavers. He takes the return from Chris Joint. Then brings Anthony Sullivan into it. Sullivan will kick ahead, and there's a race on here for Hunt. He was too slow for it, or rather the kick was too strong. And in back play, Sullivan appealing there that he was impeded. Mike McLennan watching impassively from behind the posts.
Well, he knows he's wrapped up the 2 points, but it's been a struggle, hasn't it? At times when this St Helens side really should have shown their authority. But full credit to the Rovers, they haven't thrown the towel in, they fought back well.
A measure of the Rovers' quality, to be fair, at the bottom of the table, Mike, is the fact that they haven't thrown the towel in here. They took Widnes all the way in the Challenge Cup, and they were only beaten really by Wigan in the last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour at Craven Park on Tuesday night. So much encouragement for George Fairbairn and everyone up on Humberside.
Well, I think everybody and even the players would have in the back of their minds that perhaps late in the game that they should tie it, and rightly so. When you get to a situation where they've only had 2 days preparation to come to Knowsley Road, not the best preparation for any coach or player.
Here's Lydiard again. He's so important to this team, and he's got the ball away to Sean Ho. There's another try on here, surely. Well, Ho should have passed the ball out to Bibby. Bibby was screaming for it out wide, but they're still not finished. Chatfield will come back, clip the ball over the top, and the kick ahead diffused behind his own try line by Connolly. St Helens will restart with a tap on their own 20-metre line.
Well, that was great play by Old Kingston Rovers. Sean Hall, the substitute, really should have passed that ball. Nice stepping run, though. Just shows you what they can do. But fair credit to Gary Connolly. He knew that the option of the kick was going to be on. And the referee having a few little words here with Des Harrison laying all over the man. The crowd go ecstatic. They feel that it is though it's a swinging left arm.
St Helens take the tap penalty. Griffiths on a run. 10 to go. Well, 9 to go, if you're going to argue. 28-14. Joint. But Rovers, Sean Ho, if he'd have put that ball out to Mike Bibby, they'd have been in for another try.
Yes, he opted to try to take the step through the dummy. Another try that went begging. But once again, the Rovers are making those breaks. There is a lot of problems in this St Helens defence.
Nothing much to choose in the penalty count. 28-14 now on the scoreboard. Saints in complete command, but being taken right to the wire here as O'Donnell dabs the ball forward, looks for it himself, and Lydiard again, the man who sweeps up the danger.
Well played by Wayne Parker there. He nearly went for it, realised that he was offside, allowed David Lydiard to come from behind the in-goal area. You will see the kick by Gus O'Donnell. Ball is kicked forward, and Parker nearly bent down for that one, but good thinking on his behalf.
David Lydiard, a man with a welter of experience. In his second spell on Humberside, he was at Hull across the city in 1989-90. It's his third spell in England. He was also with Oldham for a time in the 80s. He knows what the big league's all about. Chatfield hammers the ball left-footed downfield. Anthony Sullivan will pick it up. Acres of space ahead of him.
What a great boost to his confidence, just coming back from injury, of course. If he could sneak in for a try. There's one guy that's tried hard in the forwards, Bernard Dwyer.
Connolly has done well in the backs again. O'Donnell appealing to referee Annesley. Rovers not allowing Connolly to regain his feet. Now Cooper to Griffiths, to Harrison, back to Griffiths. Through the gap goes Rapati. Lyon picks it up behind him somehow. Griffiths is there, and Griffiths with a try. Jonathan Griffiths, try number 8 of the season in only his third start of 1993. and it happened while Wayne Parker, the stand-off half, the hero of the defence tonight for Rovers, was down injured.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Excellent skills from St Helens. For once they got the ball out wide, an unusual run around with a prop forward. He created it to Rapati Griffiths. Lyon came in untimed on the line, and that's what good support play is all about. He must have run all of 50, 60 metres, Jonathan Griffiths, to receive that. There's the pass that sent Rapati through. A lot of players just give up the ghost, but it's all about support play. There you can see Lyon chimes in from the back line. Excellent play, fully deserved. It was the man created and then finished.
Did well to improve the angle for a change of goal kicker. Paul Loughlin off with a bang in the face straight from the kick-off, and Rapati just gets the ball between the posts. Just scraped the outside edge of that post, or the inside edge of that far post rather. 34-14.
This is what we call a run around the forward. He comes through, this man comes at him, the pass goes out wide, the gap appears. This is how it happens. Beautiful play. Excellent support play. This is what the fullback is very good at, David Lyon. That man fully deserved the try.
Just under 5 minutes to go. Referee's whistle sounds and Rovers caught offside.
Not standing square to play the ball. Things getting a little bit ragged for them now. Naturally frustration setting in at 34 points to 14. The St Helens side, Eddie, will be quite happy with the 2 points. They desperately need them, of course, to keep the pressure on Wigan, hope that they can make that mistake and lose a couple of games. But I don't think that they'll be ecstatic.
No, 34-14 on paper, a good win. If it stays at that. But is it championship quality? That's the question that everyone should be asking.
Well, the problematic areas are, of course, in that pack when you've got to put the full-back Phil Vevers into the second row. That it is a problem. And I have a tendency to always believe that forwards will win you the trophies.
Shane Cooper just taking his eye off that one, but St Helens needn't have worried. One tackle later, they're back in possession courtesy of Chris Joynt. Griffiths, well, he's found the try line, he fancies having a go at some more, and he pushed David Lydiard off then. The referee absolutely right. Lydiard was not in possession of the ball.
Well, he's worked hard, hasn't he, there, Jonathan Griffiths. Actually, he could have penalised Jonathan Griffiths. He never made any attempt to take that ball. He just went to push the man down. And it looks like someone's been sent to the sin bin.
It's a blood bin, I think.
Blood bin, is it?
Yeah. Wayne Parker is covered in blood, and I'm just looking at the bench down here. I don't think that Rovers have got anyone who can come on fit enough to see them through. So as soon as Parker gets himself tidied up and the flow of blood stemmed, he'll be pushed back on. And he's coming back almost immediately. Back on. Quick wipe of the magic sponge. Second rower, Des Harrison. It's a long way home from St Helens to Humberside. If you lost a match, and Hull Kingston Rovers have only won 5 times all season. They know what the journey feels like.
Well, things getting a little bit scrappy there, Chris Harrison. been able to take that ball. Quite slippy out there.
Now Griffiths gets the ball out to Mike Riley. Has Riley the power to get through Lydiard? He has. But Speckman was there to cover the danger. Speckman all over Mike Riley.
What a great run, though, by Mike Riley. He's certainly a prospect, isn't he?
Oh, then the centre Hutchinson went for the interception there.
But he really did charge into David Lydiard. There you see he went for the intercept with Hutchinson. He's done a few nice touches as the centre, Hutchinson, trying to catch that ball and grasp a little bit of glory in the dying seconds.
We're in the final minute on my watch. Here's Parker. Cooper just delaying him for a vital second or two as the defence lines up. Chamberlain from dummy half. Chatfield worked hard, those two. So has O'Brien. This is Chris Harrison.
Well, they're
We're
still
into time added on, Mike, sorry.
Still trying, aren't they, this whole Kingston Rovers side? Obviously got to be tied up to that strong game against Wigan on Tuesday night.
Loose pass picked up by Alan Hunt, and there's the full-time siren. There'll be no more action from Knowsley Road. St Helens maintain their pursuit on Wigan at the top of the table. They've closed the gap now. They're level on points with Wigan, but Wigan have 2 games in hand. Frank Barrow and George Fairburn. Barrow on the left and Fairburn, the Rovers coach, on the right. Swap and exchange views on this fixture. St Helens have won it. They've won it easily. Alan Hunt with 2 tries. It's St Helens who march on and keep that pressure on Wigan at the top of the table.